Under lockdown level 3, vendors are allowed to engage in commerce provided that they trade essential goods. But Informal Traders Association say many have been left in the lurch. For more on this, we're joined now by Jerry Thlophane, who is the National Executive Committee member of the South African Informal Traders Alliance. But Jerry, good evening, and thank you for your time. The informal traders have been left out because, for example, some municipalities like the city of Cape Town views them as a flea market, which of course would mean a huge gathering, a lot of people, and the spread of COVID-19. What is the feeling from the informal traders?
You know, the situation and feeling in the informal sector is quite a very somber and sad one all over. The first thing is it's a big problem. The government is simply ignoring and failing to assist us. You know, there are problems all over, like, for instance, in Ekurhuleni there, where informal traders were refused permits, but foreigners, most of the foreigners would be having a permit. You have a situation in Randfontein where when informal traders went there to apply for permits, they were told that it is closed, it will open, the offices to give permits will be open during level 3. But up until now they are closed, and there are some informal traders who still have a challenge. So all in all, the informal sector is quite a very, very sad one. Government is simply ignoring that sector. We don't know. Maybe maybe the reason is because there's no money. There's not lots of money to be stolen in the form of corruption. So that's why maybe they don't care. They go to big monies there, like currently we see about this water affairs thing and so on. Yes. So basically, yes. The situation within the informal sector is a very, very, very sad one. There's corruption all over, metropolis all over.
And listen, Jerry, I want you to tell me a little bit more about that corruption when we come back from the break. But also, I want you to expand a little bit on how the limitation that says you're only allowed to trade in essential goods affect the model and the structure of your business. Tell me what the whole restriction that says to informal traders you can only trade in essential goods. How does that hamper your business?
Very bad, Chair, because obviously most of the essential services or goods they are talking about are very, very scarce, you know. Normal informal traders deal, or actually the overwhelming majority of them deal with common, basic, you know, needs and products that actually are needed by the people regularly. So if you come and talk about essential goods and so on, it means it's like closing out, you know, almost 80%, I mean, of the informal sector. So this is just ridiculous. And in fact, it's a pity that government, you know, every time they tell you that they are meeting stakeholders and so on, we don't know who are they actually meeting, because as the informal sector and coming from this national big organization, which they know very well, we have never been consulted. In fact, if we were consulted even before the lockdown, things would have changed, you know, drastically. I remember the closing of tax shops, for instance. It was a shock to us that actually tax shops were closed. And when this Nkosazana Zuma opened them, she mentioned that she was surprised that and she didn't know that actually spaza shops actually denied, you know, to operate, which clearly shows that there's a big communication gap, you know, between government, ministers, and officials themselves. Yeah. So basically, That is the issue. The informal sector is quite a very, very sad, chapter. Nobody cares, especially the government. They care absolutely nothing about us.
Now, tell me, with, of course, level 4, level 5, now in level 3, for example, the sale of hot foods has now been open. It is now allowed again. Are you seeing a recovery?
Yes, indeed. In fact, most of the informal traders have gone back to work, but I can tell you, business is very, very slow. Very, very slow. Just today, I was talking to another lady who is a cook, who told me that yesterday she left home with 150, and that 150 includes, money for stock and so on. So things are really, really difficult. Then you have another big income making business of cigarettes. Our informal sector people who sell cigarettes, they are almost closed, and most of them are closed and are almost out of business. And cigarettes is one of the big money making, exercise, for many informal traders. So those people are still suffering now because of it being denied. So yes, most of the businesses of informal traders now have indeed been open, but business is still very, very slow because there are very, very few people going to town because people are still having this, scare, and they still don't believe, the prison-like situation they were exposed to, from the level 5 downwards.
All right. Jerry, I appreciate your time. Thank you for talking to us tonight. Jerry Thlophane there. He is the Executive Committee member of the South African Informal Traders Alliance.